Story time. I feel I should share this particular experience of mine because it could help somebody out there. And someone asked me a question in one of my previous videos about such a situation. I know there are a lot of people who are in the situation where their BRP has expired, their visa has expired, but they don't know how to continue working in their particular job. In fact, let me put it in a better frame. See, there was a time my BRP had expired. My visa had expired, but I had already submitted an application and I was at the verge of losing my job. Yes, losing my job. And you know it's not funny if you get kicked out of an organization just because you don't have the right to work. So how do you navigate this system? Now, in this video, I'm going to be sharing some details about what happened to me and how I navigated that particular time in my life. Now, if you are meeting me for the first time, my name is Cynthia. I share information about settling, working, or studying in the UK. If you want to settle in the UK, study in the UK, or navigate the immigration system in the UK, then subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notification bell so that each time I drop a new video, you'll be among the first people to know about my videos and you'll be updated on the UK immigration or educational system. I help people with career progression. I help people with support, CV optimization, LinkedIn optimization, anything that would help you move to the next level or even get a certificate of sponsorship or a visa sponsorship job in your area of specialization. Then you have to reach out to me. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your love and support. And without wasting time, let's get into this video. At some time last year, my BRP had expired. My visa had expired, but I was about to get kicked out of my job. Yes, it happened to me. Now, I had already submitted an application, but they were telling me, what's up? Your share code is not working. Can you give us a share code? And I could not generate a share code. Now, if you're experiencing this particular situation, I just want to share my own experience with you. Remember that I'm not an immigration advisor. I'm just sharing my experience and how I navigated this particular time in my life. And perhaps you could explore the solution I'm suggesting here. Perhaps it could work for you. What happened was I received an email from my employer and she said in that email that I had 4 options. First of all, you could decide to tell us whether you intend to submit an application and when you want to submit the application. 1. 2, if you had already submitted an application for visa extension, you have to provide us with your application ID and some other information so that we can able to track down or find out whether there are higher chances of you getting that visa approval and you can still be on our system. Now, the third one is that if I had already submitted an application and I've got an update on my application and it's been approved, I should just send them the details of the BRP and the share code. Or if I don't want to submit an application at all, then I have to leave the university system. Now, as at that time, the fee for employing someone that does not have the right to work in the UK was like £45,000. Now, right now, guess how much it is? If you employ someone that does not have the right to work in the UK, the fine is like £60,000 right now. And £60,000 is no joke. No employer wants to, be dragged to court. Nobody, as in there's even the option of, they said 5 years imprisonment and a fine. So no employer wants to experience that. So that is why in this particular situation, I didn't want to lose my job, but because I had already submitted an application before the deadline of my visa, that's one key factor, guys. I'm repeating it now because some people feel, oh, if I'm a day late, if I'm an hour late, this is the UK. The UK does not joke about when it comes to your right to work or your right to rent in the UK. You should not be 5 minutes late. You know how it is. If you are your flight is just 10 minutes late before you leave the UK when your time has expired, it becomes a problem. So I had to provide them with my application reference number from UKVI. I also had to tell them that my option is option 2 because I have already submitted an application for extension. So what they had to do was they had to use this service I'm going to show on your screen. It's the government employer check-in service. This is one service that they use to ask the home office to check an employee's immigration status if they cannot show their documents or online immigration status. So if it's not clear on your immigration status whether you have right to work or not, or if you try to generate a share code and you cannot prove your right to work or your status, immigration status in the UK, the employer would have to use this service to be able to find out your status and find out whether there is a potential for that visa to be extended. What my employer did was they sent me an email to say they can see that I have provided my application number and that my new visa hasn't been approved prior to the current expiry date, and that it isn't a problem, that with my permission they would like to request a check from the home office that's using my application number provided, and that they will give me a temporary right to work status while my application is being processed. So they wanted me to confirm whether I was happy to go ahead with the temporary right to work status. I said, please go ahead, please. I don't want to just have any break in this employment. And so that is what they did. But they also said that along the way, if I find out that my visa has been approved, that I should let them know as soon as possible. And I said, no problem. Now, this temporary right to work lasts for 6 months and is something that they would carry out and give you if there is this high potential that your visa will be approved. Along the way, I got my visa approval and I sent the details to them, and I carried out the entire process of right to work, got the share codes and sent those to them, and we did the complete enrollment. Like, this is my first experience, by the way, when it comes to extending your visa, and it has this overlap of, yes, you need to continue to have the right to work and you don't want any break in your career. So I now relaxed and then waited until my visa approval. Then I sent them the details. I generated the share code. If you don't know how to generate a share code with your e-visa or share code with your usual BRP number, then I'll put the link here so that you can see how I do it flawlessly. Now, why I'm sharing this is because of recent there are some people who have come forward and said, hey, my employer is saying they are going to withdraw my employment because my visa or my right to work is showing no proof of status. And I'm here to say, if you have an expired BRP and you submitted an application before the visa expired, or BRP expired, or the most important thing is before your visa expired, if you are in that situation, you don't need to worry. You can ask your employer to carry out this temporary right to work check. It's like I showed you on the screen like this. This is what your employer can do and assess whether there's a high chance of you getting that visa extended. Can give you that temporary right to work for maybe 6 months. I don't know whether there's a 3 months period, but something like that, so I can relax and continue with your work until your visa has been approved. Then you can update them. That's the purpose of this video. These are just little things that could happen to you as an immigrant. It can cause you panic and you'll be like, what is happening here? I've not experienced such a thing before. Am I going to lose my job? Do you understand? What should I do in this particular situation? So I just wanted to share this with you. If someone is out there watching this and you are panicking and it's not been updated, there is such a service for your employer to use and help you calm down. That's why I shared this video. I hope you've learned something from this video. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.